Hello.
Yes, madam.
But I think my video is not seen. I think.
No, madam, it is not visible.
1 minute. Sorry, please. I'm very sorry.
No problem. Take your time.
Please. Hello.
Yes, madam.
1 second, please. Some technical issues is going on. 1 second, please.
Oh, sure, ma'am. A small announcement for all the participants. By the time madam switch on her video, the test, many of the participants are asking about the test link. Sir, we will be like posting the test link after immediately after the validity function. Sharp at 2:30, we will be starting the validity function, which will be for 30 minutes. After that, we will share the link. And you will get the feedback link in the AICT portal itself. So I request all the participants to please visit the AICT portal and fill the feedback link. And from college, we are posting one more feedback link. So please don't get confused. There are two feedback links will be shared with you. One you have to fill in the AICT portal, and the another one we will be sharing it in the WhatsApp group.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shall we start now?
It's not opening. I don't know. What is the problem? Morning I had tried actually.
But
the link
no
is
problem,
not opening
madam,
for me.
Madam, kindly share your video. We will just see whether.
Yes, but video, yes. The video is not
Yes.
functioning. I don't know why. Something. What is going wrong? I don't know.
Madam?
Hello?
Madam, kindly share the PPT, madam.
Madam, it's not, I don't know, something is not at all opening. I don't know what's the problem. Yesterday morning I took some online classes.
Okay.
1 second, please. Sorry, I'm very sorry, extremely sorry.
No problem, madam. Please try once
Hello?
again.
I
Madam,
have been
otherwise,
trying continuously.
okay. Madam, you please share that to my mail ID so that I'll share from my.
Yes, my mail ID is same thing, madam. Yes, I will share it.
Yes, madam. Madam, I've just messaged you.
Please. Okay, madam, please. 1 second. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಾಗಿತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಹಲೋ ಅಪ್ಪು, ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಣಮ್ಮ. ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
Madam, your mic is on, madam.
One second, madam, please. 1 second.
Yes.
It's not able. 1 second. Hello. ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ, ಇದು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರದ್ದೇನೆ, ಆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನೇ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು. ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಲ್. ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ.
Yes, madam.
ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ರದ್ದೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. 1 second, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಐ ನೀಡ್ 5 minutes. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಸಾರಿ.
No problem, madam.
1 minute
Madam,
ಒಂಚೂರು ಆಡಿಯೋ
please
ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ. 1 second, please.
Yes, madam.
One second,
Please share the PPT to my mail ID, madam.
No, I am not prepared any PPT. I am giving other things, but I am not able to do it, madam. I am sorry. 1 second. I require 5 minutes at least. It's not opening. Okay, in tab
Okay.
I'm trying.
Yes, madam.
1 second, please. Hello. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಲಿಂಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಅದು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, extremely sorry. I apologize with everyone.
No problem, madam.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
So,
Yeah, no problem.
hello.
Madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
madam. We can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay,
Hello,
okay.
hello. Yes.
Yes. So I extremely apologize each and every individual, each one of you. I'm extremely sorry due to some technical issues I had. So anyhow, so very good morning. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. And I want to thank Dr. Rashmi Hunnur and the college management and the principal for inviting me as a resource person to this FDP program. Okay. And then Rashmi Hunnur, Professor Rashmi Hunnur. Yes,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Madam,
Yes.
shall we start, madam?
Yes, we'll start now. We can start. Yes.
You are going to share the PPT or?
No,
we have
no
to wait?
PPT, no PPT. I'm not prepared
Yes.
due to some problems. I could not prepare PPT.
No problem, madam.
I'm
No
just
problem.
giving a talk through some stories and other things. Like it will be
No
in a
problem.
different way, please.
Yes, madam. Sure.
Yes, yes.
So,
Sure.
we have Dr. Yes, Jayalakshmi with us today as a resource person. So she has done her PhD in Sanskrit, the system of taxation in ancient India from Bangalore University, and Master of Arts in Sanskrit. Completed MBA in Crisis Management and Organizational Behavior from Annamalai University with a distinction. And she also holds a Masters of Arts in Hindi, Bachelor degree in Education. So she is a result-oriented professional with over 22 years of teaching experience, management and administration of college activities, and creating a positive learning environment. She is working as a guest faculty at Sri Aurobindo Degree College for Women and working as a life skill trainer under government project and trained degree college students at Kumta, Ankola, Chintamani and government colleges at Bangalore. She has been working with the People's Skill Organization, where she was involved in conducting life skill programs and worked for a period of 22 years as a Sanskrit teacher at Sri Vadi Education Center. Simultaneously worked as a part-time lecturer at Sri Aurobindo College for Women. Worked as full-time Sanskrit lecturer at Sri Bhagwan Mahavir Jain College, JC Road. Worked as principal at Sharda Vidyaniketana CBSE from 2007 onwards. Worked as a visiting faculty for PG classes in Jain University, and she is also a sub-editor for Vipravanita Sinchana, advisory member for Happy Life Online Teaching and VAS 2011. And presently she is working as a guest faculty in Aurobindo First Grade College for Women. She also received many awards, and the other notable accomplishments were she received a Best Teacher Award and state level prizes and Best Director Award at a state level. Best Drama Award represented Karnataka, participated at Tirunelveli at South Zone level, received second prize for drama, Gani V Gani organized by VITM and DSERT. Best Script Award for the above mentioned drama at the zonal level, and also received many other prizes in different various fields. With this, I present Dr. S. Jayalakshmi. Madam, over to you.
Yes, thank you, madam. Thank you for speaking such good words about me. Very good morning to everyone. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. When Professor Rashmi Hunnu, she called me, just before 1 week, she called me. I was hospitalized and discharged. Just then, I was advised almost a month of rest. But immediately, without a second thought, I agreed for this program, which is a fantastic program being organized by this college, Basveshwara College of Engineering. And the main reason for me to accept this invitation is the topic, which is my most favorite topic, human values. Everyone have heard these values. This has become a fancy word nowadays. In today's world, everyone speaks about values. Value-based society, value-based families, value-based politics. Value has just is like a prefix added to so many things. But what does it mean? Value, what does it mean? Value also means caste, C-O-S-T, caste. Value means something which is desirable. Desirable. You may buy one mobile. If you may purchase one mobile, and your friend or someone will ask, oh, what is the cost of this mobile? Someone may purchase car. What is the cost of this car? You may purchase a building. Then they say, what is the cost? What is the value? Architects and engineers, and they would assess the building. So it means that we are making the assessment of most of the objects and the things around us in terms of money. You may go for a walk with your dog. They may ask, oh, it's a beautiful dog. How much you paid? What is the cost of this? You say some amount. But if you go with your wife or husband or parents or kids, will anybody ask what is the cost of your husband? What's the cost of your wife? What's the cost of your parents? Can we assess human beings through this? No. So we give value most of the items in terms of money. If somebody is hospitalized, we can ask, what is the cost of this bed and other things? But the one who is taking care of you, the one who is looking after you, your father or wife or husband or children, can anybody ask what is the cost of this person who is taking care of you? No. So human beings cannot be assessed by, that is money. We cannot be assessed in terms of money. Then how do we value? It is through human elements, our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, our behavior and all. So what is human value? Different people give different definitions and different dimensions. They speak about this human value. Now I will focus. Let us focus on these two words, human and values. Human means human being. What do you mean by values? Values means is a set of personal principles. Values need not be same for everyone. Value means it can differ from person to person, community to community, religion to religion, and in different countries, different set of rules will be there. And personal choice can be different from person to person. For example, food, clothing and all you take. Whatever the Western people they wear, their dress, no, we say, how can they wear that kind of dress? No, that is wrong. But it is not wrong to them. If you take food, non-veg may be wrong to some people. Eating non-veg may be wrong to some people, but it is not wrong to other group. So what is right to few may be good or right to others. What is wrong to others may be right to others. So each one will have different set of rules. Okay. So, just to quote one more example, going or entering the temple with slippers is wrong to one group of people, whereas entering the church with the slippers is not wrong to other set of people. So it depends on how we are brought and what is our belief, and that way the values is a personal set of rules. But ethics is not like this. Ethics is universally, it is acceptable. Everywhere you go to any corner of the world, throughout the universe, it is just the same. It is just the same. You may, like, live in Australia or Arsikere, Bangalore or Bangladesh, wherever you live, you may belong to any religion, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, and community. Those rules, which we called golden rules, these golden rules are applicable to everyone. It is just the same throughout. So these ethics, what do you mean by ethics? Ethics means what is that? You know, ethics is the word taken from the Greek word ethos. It's a conduct or behavior. Conduct or behavior. So this conduct or behavior should be like, good or bad. What is right and what is wrong. What is good and what is bad. So human values means it's an education to teach. Human values is an education to teach a person about the behavior and the conduct. How we have to interact with others. Human values help us to live in harmony with others. So it is also, it helps us to know the purpose of our existence. Why do I live? What for I live? What is my, what you can say, the goal or the purpose of my life in this existence in this world, as long as we exist? What is our purpose here? So we must know this. So this is like a guide. This is like a torch. This is like a torch. So it guides us. Yes? Hello? Hello? Yes. So it teaches what is right and wrong and what is good and bad. But nowadays, most of the children, youngsters, youth are influenced by Western culture. What are they doing? Most of the youth or these children, they are like, they are committing crimes, they're going to taking up violence, and they're doing all wrong things. They're addicted to drugs. They're not respecting anyone. They're not respecting elders. No mutual respect, no mutual love, no mutual affection. Nothing is there. So they are not bothered about what is good at all. Then, so what is this going on? So when there is no love, when there is no affection, when there is no respect, and even like, the youngsters, I'm not telling that all youths are like this, but most of them, they are like this. So they're condemning elders. They think that elders are of no use. Elders don't know anything. They're condemning elders. They are even ignoring these elders. In worst cases, they're even throwing out their elders out of the family. Everyone nowadays is in a race to earn money. They want money. They want to acquire wealth. They want to amass wealth. But in this, when their attention is towards this, they are neglecting that what we are, how we should be, what we should be, how we have to interact with others. And shockingly, even educated people are also not an exception to this. Though they're educated, even they are also behaving not like human beings. So this is very, very wrong. If it continues like this, where do we go? Where do we reach? We can't even imagine the danger what we are going to face in future. Can we give such a world to our coming
email ID, phone number,
coming generation?
contact
Next.
address மறந்தாலும் கொடுத்துரு.
Hello. Yes. And now, throughout the world, the parents and educators, they are so much worried about how to turn around this alarming trend where our youth are getting spoiled. Wherever there is violence, there is no peace, no harmony, hatred, jealousy, getting to bad habits. What is this? Where are we going to reach? So this is very, very shocking. We are living in such a country, India, Bharata Bhumi. It's a Punya Bhumi, where our ancestors had given the holy scriptures. What our holy scriptures teach us? Bhagavad Gita, Puranas, okay. And all these things, the teachers, they have given us beautiful lessons regarding the life and the values. What is that? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means you treat, you consider, you look the whole world, universe as your family. You should treat everyone like your family member. But ironically, what is happening now, unfortunately, we are not treating our own family members like, we are treating them as outsiders. In worst cases, in some of the families, they are totally like, as I mentioned earlier, the throwing out of some of the members out of the family. There is a jealousy, hatred between the family members, relatives and all. Our holy scriptures have taught us not this. They gave what a beautiful lessons. That is, it says that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the one thing we should never forget. And one more thing, our Upanishad says that Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. It says, what does it mean? Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, let everyone be prosperous. Everyone be prosperous in this world. They are not telling, our ancestors are not taught us that, no, only I should be prosperous, my family member should be prosperous, my city should be prosperous. No, everyone should be prosperous. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Pashyantu means let them see prosperity. Sarve Santu Niramaya, let all the people in this universe should be free from diseases. Can we pray? No, Corona should not come to only Bangalore, should not come. Okay, only Bangaloreans should not suffer from Corona. Only Karnataka people should not suffer from. Only my family should not know. They say that surveys and every Niramayaha means healthy. Everyone should be free from diseases. See, long back, thousands and thousands of years, people had prayed. Our ancestors had prayed. They taught us, you wish for the good being or the well-being of the whole universe. Ma kaschid dukkha bhagavait. No one should be sorrowful. No one should feel sorrowful. Don't make anyone sad or sorrow in this world. Make everyone happy. Okay. Santu niramayaha ma kaschid dukkha bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti mantras. They stress, they give more importance to peace. You live in peace. You live in harmony. This is what. But are we following this? No, not at all. Is there any solution for this? We have been talking about the problems. It's very easy to talk about problems, but what is the use? We have to think about solution. And some of the educators throughout the world, they are thinking now that the part of the solution for this problem is value education. Value education. Try to inculcate human values in children from their childhood. And it is not that we have to try to inculcate this human values only in children. Every individual, not only in LKG, not only in high school, not only in PUC, even when they come to these professional courses, students, they are grown up. They may be 18, 19, 20, but they need utmost care and they have to inculcate these values. How to inculcate? It is not like any injection, just you're giving it. It is not the medicine. It is not the food. How can you give this? How to inculcate this? You have to develop these values among our students, our youth and our ancestors. So this is the greatest responsibility of teaching community. And most of the teachers, of course, I have worked in, as Madam told, that I have worked in high school, PU, degree and postgraduate level. Also, I have taught our as a professor. I have seen the age group of different age group students. But in everything, what is common is we need to inculcate these values in all levels, and it is required everywhere, every time, every day. Is it possible to inculcate these values when so much of syllabus is there? We have to rush to complete the syllabus. We have so many tasks in this academic year. What should we do? How should we do? We need not have to spare separate time for that. It is possible while doing teaching. So that experience I want to share with you. So surprisingly, You may be unhappy. I don't know. Please, I'm not giving PPT. My talk is through my personal experiences, interaction with you. I've asked you to share your experiences through different beautiful stories. This is a different kind of PPT I'm giving. Please just apologize and excuse me if at all you're feeling that this session is without PPT, please. But I see that you will not get bored only without PPT. Okay, now we'll come to this. So we have to give emphasis on teaching human values. Okay. So what are the human values? Values, as I told you, it is common everywhere. For example, speak truth. Do we say, is it applicable only in Hinduism, only in Christianity, only in any such thing is there? No, everywhere it is required. Everywhere it is required. Don't steal. This is a golden rule. Whatever maybe you may belong to any community, any religion, any caste, your gender, even irrespective of your gender, you're a man or a woman. We say stealing is bad. Telling lie is bad. All these things we say. So this holds good for everyone. It is universally accepted. So now the next stage is, so I have spoken what is value, what is human value, what is ethics, and why it is needed. Why it is needed, you will know when I proceed further in my session. It will be more clear why do we emphasize so much to human values in society, why it is needed in the modern society now. Now, can we mention a few values? There is a big list of values: empathy, love, affection, peace, listening, praising, respecting. Like this, it goes on, a big list of human values. It will be very nice if we can develop all the human values, but at least a few we have to develop. So then only we can be called. If we are living without human values, we are unfit to call ourselves we are human beings. We are no more human beings. We are no more human beings fighting for everything. Okay, so all these things should be stopped. It can be stopped only through teaching or inculcating or developing human values. So I'm going to touch few values in today's session. I mean human values. To begin with, as I told you, love, respect, truth, patience, honesty, listening, praising. You have to praise someone. It's a very big quality, praising someone. One of your colleagues may be doing wonderful job. You praise them. Your subordinates may be doing something beautiful job. You encourage them. Okay, so what a small thing. It may be a small thing, but you praise them. Your kid, your child might have done a small thing, but it's a small gift. He did greetings to you. Oh, wonderful child. You praise. Whoever it is, you praise. Maybe a attender in your institution, in your office, working place. They may do something. Oh, how well you have cleaned it. Oh, you cleaned my table so nicely. You're good. So that will boost up. They will encourage. So such things like, very, very, very important. Listening, we have to listen. We should be a patient listener. Someone is speaking. You have to listen with them. Okay, so you should not be indifferent when someone is speaking. Such things, small things like this, human values is such a big chapter. It requires hours together and days together. We can speak, and for a week we can speak. Week-long sessions we can have to speak about human values. But in the given time, I'm going to cover few human values today. So now to begin with, I start with truth. Satyameva Jayate. Truth wins. This is what we are familiar with this quotation, truth wins. Albert Einstein, he says, whoever is careless with truth in small matters cannot be trusted in what you can say, major issues or important issues or affairs. You may think it is very, very small, but you cannot tell lie. You have to speak truth. But one thing, my dear friends, to tell the truth, you should be brave. You should be courageous to speak out the truth. People are scared in some cases to tell the truth. If I tell the truth, then I may be, what you can say, I may not be treated properly. I may be condemned. I may be abused. I may be punished out of fear. I'm scared of punishments. How people will look at me? My close friend, they may just, your friend may wear some dress. They say, oh, how am I looking? No, I'm not asking you to hurt them. Giving a frank opinion doesn't mean. But when you have to give the facts, like, be always open and frank and be truthful. Be truthful in your opinion. Somebody's handwriting is very bad. Your student's handwriting is bad, but you like that student. You say, oh, what beautifully, how beautifully you have written. I say, your answer is excellent. At that moment, you are making your student happy. But can you, is it good for that student in future? Think about the consequences. So one should be brave to speak the truth. Okay, so what is the consequences? Always we think about the consequences. What the other person will think. I'm not telling that you have to hurt others, being frank, but you tell in a way how it has to be told. Okay, so Albert Einstein has told, as I mentioned earlier, whoever is careless with the truth in small issues should not be trusted. If you come to know that one person has told lie for some small reason, don't trust him forever. Okay, and here it reminds me, I remember one Ramayana incident here. Okay, I would like to share that. In Ramayana, as you all know, in Rama, Lakshmana, Sita went to forest. Shurpanaka comes there, and Shurpanaka wanted to marry Rama, and Rama sends her to Lakshmana. Lakshmana sends her back like a football. She was sent from this to Rama to Lakshmana, Lakshmana to Rama. It went on for a long time, and finally, how much ever Rama convinced that, no, I am married, Sita is my wife, I cannot marry. And like she did not listen to them. And what did they do? So they could not yield to her request. Okay, then finally Lakshmana got annoyed and he chopped off the ears and nose of Shurpanaka, made her ugly, and she started crying and went to her brother Ravana, and she reported and complained about these two, Rama and Lakshmana. Ravana was so much really, he thought it was what a great insult. He was Lankadipati. How can anybody can do this to my dearest sister? They have made her ugly. They have humiliated her. How is it possible? How can they do this? No, I'm going to teach a lesson. Why did Rama, why he didn't accept or, my sister Shurpanaka? Because he is very much attached to his wife Sita. Because of Sita, Rama and Lakshmana have done this thing to my sister Shurpanaka. So I will not excuse them. I will not pardon them. I want to take revenge on these two. They decided to kidnap Sita. Rama would abduct Sita and keeps in Lanka. But before doing this, he wanted to consult his ministers. Council of ministers were called. He called for the meeting. He would discuss with them. He says, this is what happened to my sister Shurpanaka. I want to take revenge. Oh, respected ministers, you please tell your opinion and views about this. What would happen? Anything going to happen? Any consequences and all? Please tell me. All the ministers were knowing that if at all Ravana would abduct Sita, Rama and Lakshmana would never keep quiet. They were knowing the valor and the strength and the courage and the ability and the capacity of Rama and Lakshmana. When they were small boys, at that time only, when Vishwamitra and other sages were troubled and their, yagnas and yagas were destroyed by the demons, these young boys, little boys had gone and killed all the demons. No personal loss for Rama and Lakshmana at that time. In spite of it, they had gone. But now, Rama and Lakshmana, they know the Sita, Rama's wife, Lakshmana's most respectable, sister-in-law. If she is abducted, will they keep quiet? Definitely they are going to come and wage war with Ravana, and Ravana cannot win over Rama. He will be defeated. They knew well. They knew pretty well that this is what's going to happen. But they were scared to tell the truth. When everyone was giving their opinions, oh Ravana, what is it? You're a Lankadipati, you're Dashakanta, Dashagriva, you're great warrior, you're so brave and courageous. Why do you get scared? Nothing will happen, Ravana. Oh king, nothing will happen. You can abduct Sita, no problem. They said. Ravana believed their words. Ravana observed that one person was sitting quietly, that was Maricha was sitting quietly. He never expressed his any opinion, he was sitting quietly. Ravana asked him, why Maricha? What happened to you? Why are you like this? Why are you so quiet like this? And then Ravana, yes? Are you able to hear me? Yes?
Yes. Yes, madam, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So, Maricha said, Ravana, if I tell the truth, will you keep quiet? I don't want to tell the truth. At the same time, I don't want to tell lie. If I tell the truth, you will be unhappy. But I don't want to tell lie. My conscience won't permit that. For that one, he quotes a beautiful shloka in Ramayana. Sulabaha purushaha rajan satatam priyavadinaha apriyasya cha patyasya vakta shrota cha durlabaha. The meaning, the gist I will tell in brief. That is, sulabaha purushaha. Very easily we get people who flatter us, who tell lie. And we find people who are ready to listen such words and speak such words. Utterly, they lie. So it is, they're not speaking truth, but we are very happy. So if I say, how am I looking? Oh, you are Aishwarya Rai. I know, don't you have the mirror in your house? You know, we are not Aishwarya Rai. But somebody says, oh, I am very happy. And the person who is giving compliment also knows you are not Aishwarya Rai. Aishwarya Rai's grandmother. 1 second, please. Okay, you are not Aishwarya Rai, you know, your mirror says, but you are very happy. So people want that one. So, whereas, apriyasya cha patyasya, if you speak truth which is unpleasant, people don't like it. People don't like it. So that way, Maricha said, if I tell you, know, Ravana, I can imagine the consequences was going to happen in the war. Was going to happen. But if I share this, that is why I'm not telling anything, Ravana, but one thing I will tell, it's not good, that's all. So this way, truth, to tell the truth, you need a lot of courage. Now, I want like to have some your interactions, my dear friends. Remember any incident where you felt that telling truth would have been better than telling lie at that moment. Okay. I'll give a few situations, 4 situations. You people can think and share with me. Okay. I'll give 4. Yes. For example.
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
That means we don't have. Yes, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, that means we don't have to speak truth. We have to just being a mute spectator there. We have to just listen to the person. We don't.
Voice is breaking. Rashmi, madam, voice is breaking. I think Sabia must be speaking.
Okay.
There might be some network issues. Your voice is breaking. You can send that question in the WhatsApp group. Or you can send a question to my WhatsApp number. I'll ask that. Yeah. Voice is not
Okay,
clear.
ma'am.
No,
Thank you. Thank you.
little bit, I could just get it from Madam. I think whether we have to be silent spectator. If you know the person who is speaking, who is not telling truth and telling lie, we need not have to be a silent spectator. We have to tell them, no, this is not true. The person who is telling is wrong. So the thing is like, what is required is courage. You should be courageous to face the consequences. Then only the person, to be truthful is not so easy. Is not so easy. Truth is bitter. Truth is always bitter. Truth cannot be sweet. Truth cannot be sweet. It is bitter, we know it. But we have to tell truth. We have to speak truth. For this one, I think just I can take her question. If I'm not clear to her question, I'm sorry, madam. We will just move towards this. Suppose you imagine these four situations, please listen carefully. You are coming late to your working place. Okay. Secondly, you are not able to complete the work given by your superiors. Third situation, you are going home late. Fourth one, you have forgotten the birthday or anniversary of your dear ones, birthday of dear ones and the anniversary, such things. Okay. I'll give 1 minute. Whoever can imagine the situation, or if you already faced such situations, you can share with me. We can really, then the interaction would be better. Yes, can anybody can discuss with that? Whoever? For situations. So where you would have failed, I repeat the question, where you would have failed, telling the truth would have been better than telling lie. And when you are telling lie, how are you feeling inside? How are you feeling inside? You are told a lie, you know it is lie, but how are you feeling it? So these things I want your experiences. Please kindly share. Whoever is ready, plus can share with me.
Ma'am, sometimes just to motivate someone, we have to.
Tell me.
Yes, please.
Pardon?
Yeah, Sabiha ma'am, go ahead, please.
Please, madam.
Please, you go ahead.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, sometimes, just to motivate.
Okay. Can I continue now? Should I continue?
Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Dr. Rachna Tiwari, you're audible, madam.
Yes. I am just speaking, ma'am. Sometimes we have to, maybe put the life facts, or maybe we cannot say the truth in front of someone just to motivate them. Maybe the next time
just
their
you want to
performance will be
motivate
better.
them. So okay.
Yes.
Like when we are professors, to motivate some students, we have to say, oh, you're doing well and all. But at least, but that is not a lie. You're motivating little bit they might have done. If the student is getting a 0, you cannot say, oh, how well your performance is, you cannot say. But the person who was scoring 0, if at all that student is trying to score at least 30 marks, you say, oh, you're improving, you're doing good. And that will motivate that particular student to score still better. So there, you're not telling lie. As a teacher, you're not telling lie. You're motivating them. You're not telling lie. Okay. Yes. So you can motivate, but there you're at least little bit, the truth should be there. Little bit, it should be there. The person, the student, for example, scoring 0, you cannot say you're a wonderful student. You're doing well. No,
absolutely.
But you can
if
say,
they have tried for something, then obviously, we can start with a positive note, and then we can give little bit of feedback.
Positive remarks. Yes, madam.
Yes.
You can give the positive remarks. Maybe due to some reasons you might have you are not able to do it. Your performance may not be so good, but I'm sure that you are capable. You have the capacity. You try to explore yourself, you can do it. So that way you can motivate. So that it's not lie. It is not telling lie. So that way you can. Yes, madam. Tanuja, Vinay, madam.
We need to.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
tell me, madam.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes.
We need to tell him the facts so that he knows where he stands, and he has to work hard and do his best. But the feedback needs to be positive, wherein it is motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the child to do better. And wherein we need to check as the teachers, as the facilitators, that what way we can help the child. That is very important at the same time.
Yes, yes, that is true. Exactly, madam. I will agree with you. Yes, that's what. See,
Yes, ma'am.
like, you know, yes, Dr. Sabia, madam.
Basically, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's basically depends on your ethics, your values. For example, if you are, let me give my example as you quoted as you.
Madam, his voice is not clear. I don't know why.
Remembering the
Voice is not
dates
clear,
and
Dr. Sabia.
I could clearly hear the voice of those two ladies who spoke, Dr. Rachana Tiwari and Tanuja madam, but his voice breaking. So sorry, like I couldn't hear anything, madam. Totally, voice was breaking.
Ma'am,
Can anybody share?
Sorry, ma'am, you continue. It may be because of network problem.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, please. You can send the question. I will send it. I will see it and then I will answer it, madam. Okay. Yes.
Madam, hello, madam. This is Shruti here.
Yes,
ma'am,
madam.
able to hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
This is Shruti here from Bapuri Institute of Engineering and Technology, Davangere. Ma'am, this is also with regards to students coming late to the classes normally. When they come to the class late, if the teacher asks, the professor asks why you are late, they give the silly reasons. Both the senders and the receiver both will be knowing that they are telling lies.
Yes.
At that situation, neither we can scold them nor we can acknowledge them. This is one difficult situation where I have faced normally in the classes.
I know, madam, because I was also working in so many colleges. I have seen that. See, I used to go by auto or like bus, like, you know, we used to be very early and punctual in the classes. We used to wait for the students, and students, like, you know, in some of the very reputed, very colleges where very rich people study, like they used to come by car. They used to come by car. And they're telling, no traffic jam, my car had this problem, that problem. They never used to speak about two-wheelers. They used to speak about four-wheelers only. No, I had this problem and all. I know the thing is, what I mean to tell is here, the students should realize we have to create a situation where students should realize that telling lie is more dangerous and is more problematic. We are inviting problems in telling lies. We are inviting the problems in telling lies. So they give 101 reasons. I know, I think more than almost nearly 3 decades I have spent as a teacher in this teaching profession. They come out with that. And if you don't do the work, you know, if they don't complete the work, they give so many reasons. I had done the work, but I kept it. Sorry, I forgot to bring it. Sorry, I forgot to bring it. But I have done it. Okay, if your house is nearby, like, you know, you go and get it. You go and get it. Tomorrow you get it. Tomorrow get it. No problem. I'll give permission. I'll take the permission from the principal. I have done it. I don't know how far I'm right or wrong. I was telling my principal, sir, this is where of the house is nearby. Okay, now I'm telling that you can't take chances and risk nowadays in this traffic and all. If they are close nearby in high school students, okay, I'll give permission. You go and get it. Your book is ready, no? Your homework is ready, no? I never used to send, but they were used to get scared. Oh, madam is sending me home and asking me to bring. We need not have to send them. If you say, no, I'm sending home. Okay, get it now. No, they were scared. So just the further discussions and the stories will make you more how to handle these things. I think we can make it. So we go late. We go home late. So you may tell your wife, husbands, if at all they go late, they say, no, this happened, that happened in work. You know, like, you know, there was a meeting at 101 things, but they might have visited their friends. Sometimes it may be true. Okay, so they say, but inside, you know, you will be feeling bad. The child might have scored, like, you know, your son or daughter might have scored, like, you know, 60% or 70% in exam, but you want to share. One of your friend's daughter or colleague's daughter might have scored 90 or 95 or 100. You want to share. You're telling them, oh, my daughter also scored 90, you know, my daughter scored 95. You might have told, but inside your conscience is pricking it, telling, no, 60 is the result. 60 is the truth, you know. Even if you tell 90 or 100, 60 remains 60 only for you in your daughter's or son's marks card. The marks will not change just because you told that it becomes 90. So truth is reality. Reality will always remains the same. Now, I want to, like, you know, the story, Satya Harishchandra, how he faced what all, and Gandhi also, importance he emphasizes about truth. So if we speak truth, but one thing I want to underline that point, that when you want to tell the truth, you see that that person is not humiliated or insulted. Hey, you're worst fellow, I say. You are so dull, you are so stupid, you are a fool. Don't give such negative remarks. It's a truth, it is truth. But it will become humiliation, and it will have a negative impact on students or any person or any individual. So that way, how we have to speak truth, that is more important. How we present it, that's more important, I think. So now I'm going to, there is so much to speak about truth, but there are many values are there. Now I'm going to touch the next value.
Ma'am, just one more, ma'am, before you move on to the next one. You said you need a lot of courage.
Are you going to, yes?
Said, yeah, you said.
Can you share with me, madam? Can you share with me?
What, ma'am?
No, just you wanted to, because I had given you to tell. Where you would have felt telling.
No, ma'am. You said last time in your last previous, before giving the situation, you told that you need a lot of courage to say the truth.
Yes, courage.
So,
yes.
Though you have ethics, though you are confident, though you have a lot of courage, though you tell to the people in the right manner, but that mindset should be there for a person to accept it. Because nowadays, when ethics will not be that one thing, and the consequences will be, we should be ready to face the consequences.
Yes. And yes, that's true. I'll agree. And students or your children or your kids, they should be, you have to convince them, you have to make them understand and realize that whatever truth I'm speaking, whatever facts I'm speaking about you is truth. And if at all you listen to these words, and if you accept it, and if you try to change it, these are the benefits you are going to having. These are the positive things happen in your life. This should be that you have to make them understand that if you this is the thing, your condition is this. But if I'm speaking truth, you may feel bad. But if you listen to this, if you try to change it, you will become a wonderful person. You will be benefited like anything. If you son, who will not say, see, if you remain like this, these are the losses, negative, minus points. If you change this, accepting my truth, what I said about you, these are the benefits you are going to. You think over, you give them some time. Definitely, it cannot be done in overnight, may not be, but continuously, if you keep doing it, definitely it will work out. Definitely it will work out, madam. 100% it will work out. Okay. The thing is, thing is, we teachers, we should have that patience to handle these situations patiently. That's all. But professors, like, I think you're all wonderful doing. That's what, college has arranged such a programs, means it is full of such dedicated and committed professors. That is why management can also think of such handling such situations and arranging such programs. Really, I'm very happy with this. Now, okay, we will, with your permission, I'll move on to the next human value, love. The moment I say this word LOVE, love, it mind automatically will be connected to one more word, that is romance. That is romance. Love cannot be there without romance. Okay, love means romance should be there. Love, think with a broad perspective. What is love? What is love? The true love is caring for happiness and well-being of others is true love. Love is caring for happiness and well-being of others. That is true love. How do you express love? Love can be expressed more in deeds than in words. If you love your parents, every day you cannot, as soon as you get up in the morning, good morning, father, I love you. Good morning, mother, I love you. Oh, good morning, my husband, I love you. Good morning, my wife, husband. Oh, my children. Every time you did not have to go on telling, I love you, I love you, I love you. No. No value for that. Okay. The thing is, more than in words, it has to be expressed in deeds. What you do it. If you really love your parents, do such things which make them happy. So they want you to be obedient. You be obedient, they'll be happy. How to, like, your management, your superiors, say this thing. Oh, madam, really, I like you, madam. I love you, madam. Love you means don't take it in other sense, please. I'm extremely sorry. Don't, okay. So if you love a person, you have to care. I love my colleagues. I love my staff. I love my staff. Then you care for the happiness of your staff. Allow my students, care for the happiness and the well-being of your students and parents. So you take care of them. So caring your parents and making them happy. What make them my parents happy? What makes my husband happy? What makes my children happy? What makes my wife happy? You care for them. If you're so caring, that means this is how you can express your love. Shakespeare, he says that, tell me whom do you love? I will tell you what you are and how you are. Tell me whom do you love? I tell you who you are and what you are. What a wonderful words. Okay, wonderful saying it is from Shakespeare. What does it mean? One person says, you may ask, whom do you love most? Hey, I love my, club. I love club. I want to play cards with my friends. I know I love that. I love to be with drunkards in bar and restaurant, Oh, nice. I love those who take drugs. I will tell you what you are and how you are. Suppose you say, I love my family so much. I love my parents so much. I love my children. I love my wife like anything, She's more than life. I love my husband. Nothing is special in this world than my husband. Children are everything to me. I love them so much. Once you love, whomever you love, you take utmost care about them, isn't it? You take utmost care. You want to keep your husband happy. You want to keep your children happy. Why? Because you love them. You need not to express through your actions, through your deeds. You are showing them that you love them utmost. So what are the things you can love? What are the things whom all you can love? You not only you should love your husband, wife, children, parents, and family. You love your neighbors. Do something good for them. They will also like you. You just, you share your love with neighbors, friends, colleagues. You make your colleagues happy. You make your superiors happy. You make your subordinates happy. You care for them. So then, you should also love your profession. You should love your institution where you are working. This is my institution. I give utmost love and care. You have to care your institution. You have to work for the well-being of your institution. You have to love your management. I work for my management. I work for my college. This is my temple. I work for this. You love God. Whatever when your prayer is with love, not with fear, not with demands. So whatever you do, you love your profession, you love your job, you love your hobbies, and you love your motherland. I love my motherland. So many great persons, they are immortals because of the love shown to their motherland. They never went on telling that I love India, I love India. They never gave any slogans. Through their deeds, through their sacrifices for the freedom, to bring freedom to our country, through their sacrifices, they showed, no, they love their motherland. This is how through your deeds you do it. Okay. And more than loving all others around us, love yourself. That's very, very important. You may wonder and question, why should I love myself, madam? It looks so funny and strange. Yes, you have to love yourself. That is called self-esteem. Praise yourself, love yourself. Many people in this world, they hate themselves just because of some drawbacks in them. Drawbacks means what? Maybe not good complexion, height, they may not be tall, they may not be having good complexion, or they may not be having proper financial status. So many reasons. So they may feel that, no, I am useless. I don't know why God has created me like this. I hate myself. No, never develop such feelings. You love yourself. That is called self-esteem. Praise yourself. Praise yourself. Don't boast. Don't boast, but praise yourself. Try to find out what is good in me, what is positive in me. Try to find out, have a positive view of yourself. That is self-esteem. Self-esteem is have a positive view of yourself. Yes, this is positive thing in me. God is not cruel. He gives everyone with something or the other which is good. Each individual has something good in him or her. Some may have beautiful eyes. Some may have beautiful smile. Some may have beautiful dimples. Some may have beautiful hair, curly hair or straight hair, whatever it is. They look attractive. And some may have beautiful voice. Here I want to share my experience. If you don't mistake me, please pardon me. What is the strength in me is my confidence and my voice. My voice. I love my voice. There's nothing wrong in telling that I love my voice. This is my strength. Most probably, if I remember, if I'm right, 25 years back, audition was there and written test was conducted in National College. More than 2,500 candidates had appeared for the post of All India Radio newsreader and announcer. Okay, of course, it was a casual newsreader and announcer post. And I used to work with the mic. Here I am not speaking with the mic. That's what I'm feeling very bad. I love mics. I love to stand before the mic and speak. So I applied for that post. More than 2,500 candidates had applied. And I attended. Out of 2,500 candidates, 500 was selected. I was one among 500. Then 500 candidates were called for audition 2-3 rounds. They filtered voice test. Out of 500, they selected 50 candidates. I was one among 50. And for these 50 candidates, they conducted interviews, preliminary, final, and all. And finally, they selected 5. I was one among 5. Do you feel it is wrong? Don't you think it is right if I love my voice? I worked as a newsreader and announcer for several years. And I keep doing a lot of anchoring programs for prestigious programs conducted by government and various prestigious organizations. I go for anchoring. I worked as a dubbing artist. I was lending my voice for thousands of ads. This is what you have to be. Even in our students also, we have to develop this self-esteem. Find out in a student what is good, what is best in them. They may not be good at studies, but they may be good at something. You may be a singer. One may be a singer, good at singing. One may be good at acting. One may be good at painting. One may be good at dancing. Who knows? Everyone will have different, that attraction will be there. So you have to give that focus on this. What am I good at? Then what is the use? Why should I love myself? If you feel that, no, if that is not there, if I'm not a singer, I'm a dancer. If I'm not a singer, I'm actor. If I'm not an actor, I'm something else. Something good is there in me. So if you keep on praising and develop this self-esteem, what happened? Your mind will be pure. Your heart will be pure. Then you never feel like competing with others. Oh, they may be having that one. No, but I'm having this. I'm good at. If they're having that, but I'm having this. So you never you stop comparing with others. So when you stop comparing with others, where do we have jealousy or hatred? When we don't have what others are having, if you have an eye on that, then you feel, oh, that person is having that, but I am not having it. Oh, he's so fair, but I'm not fair. He's so tall, but I'm not tall. But okay, no problem. They may be height, but you are having other good qualities. So this is what we have to develop. We have to develop such thoughts in our children, our students and individuals, youngsters. So, and one thing, the whole universe, like, we love everyone. We love our relatives. Relatives, they say, oh, they bought second house. Already is a second house. I have only one. No comparing at all. Don't compare. So then what happens? If there is no comparison, no hatred, no jealousy, the only love. So if you love, if you love the whole universe, think that everyone is showering love. There is showering love to each others. But one problem with this love is Some people is not the problem with this love, but problem with the people who don't express love. They have some inhibitions to express love. I tell you always, as great persons have told this, that don't try to build a wall, my dear friends. Don't try to build a wall between you people. Construct a bridge. Construct a bridge. There may be some small differences of opinion may be there. Some clashes may be there. Some fights may be there for petty reasons and silly reasons. So don't try to have a gap, or don't try to have a wall in between. Just you smile at a person. Smile at a person. Hello, you say hello, you say hello. That person may not say one day. If you smile, that person may not smile. He is angry. No problem. Don't give up. Just give up your ego. Ego should not be there. Once, if there is no ego, then love automatically comes in that place. So replacement for ego is love. If love has to bloom in a plant, you have to cut off the thorn that is ego. You love. For this one, as an example, I want to share one story. One person, he was in a very high post. He was working in a bank. He was in a high post, which I have, is a known person to us. And that person had a great expectations about his son. That because I'm in such high post, and my son should also study like this and score like this. Everyone wants 100 out of 100, and 99 is very less. Scoring 98, 99 means gone case for the children. Thank God. Really, I pity those students and children nowadays. Okay, not that we should have expectations, but unfortunately, the son was average, but he never expected that he would fail. But unfortunately, that son failed. Imagine the condition of the status of mind, the state of mind of that father. Father thought that world is collapsed. My God, how can I show my face to my relatives, my friends and all? Why? He started, whatever I know, most of the times they will went out with their wives. What is this? He's your son. When something they do, hey, look at my son. See your son, what he has done, he has failed, I say. Then wife could not do anything. And son said, no, father, I didn't do so badly, but I don't know what happened, how I failed, I don't know. I never expected this. I wouldn't have got 80%, 90% or 70%, but I would have passed. I don't know, Dad, I don't know how I failed, I don't know. But father, what he did? No, you're no more my son. Don't call me Dad at all. You're no more my son from today at all. Stop, don't show your face to me at all. You believe it or not, for a long time, though they were staying in the same house, father and son, they never looked at each other. They never talked to each other. Wife was a mediator. Wife was a mediator. It was a very, disgusting for her. Really, we pity her condition. It went on for a long time. One day, in his bank, one of his staff members came to his chamber. Sir, I want to present you one book, sir. Why? I'm not so fond of reading, No, sir, but I wanted to give this book to you, sir. Why? Sir, when I read this book, I read it somewhere in one book that whomever you love most, you give this to that person. So that's why, sir, I'm giving that book to you, sir. Because I love you most. I am giving this book to you, sir. Hope you will accept it happily. Okay, thank you. He accepted. He took the book. He came home. He told her, he shared this thing with his wife. Wife was sarcastically commenting, your staff said you have to give to the person whom you love most. My God. Who is there in this house you love most? Who is there, I say? Why did you get this book? You keep it in the cupboard. You cannot give to anybody. Husband said, why do you say like this? She said, no, I need not have to tell anything. She was busy in the kitchen. This father went to the room, son's room. Son was busy doing something. He went, he stood. He was shocked. to see that his father entered his room after a long time. Automatically, he stood up. He was scared to call him dad also. Oh, you come to my room. Yes, sit down, sit down. He sat next to his son. And he said, see, Gopi, you take this book. Why, father? I'm not at all good at studies. When I'm not good at studying my own textbooks, how can I study other books? No, Gopi, you read it. You take this book. Why, Daddy? He said, no, one of my staff member, he gave this book and said, sir, you give this book to whom you love most. Then why are you giving to me, Dad? You go and give to the book whom you love most. Then the tears were rolling, the eyes, okay? Tears were rolling. Father was crying. He gave a hug to his son. Gopi, sorry, excuse me. Whom else I love you, I say. I'm giving this book. Please try to understand that I love you. Should I tell you in words, I love you? And son also gave a big hug. He embraced and hugged his father. Mother was watching and she was crying. My dear friends, the ball was no more. They had constructed a bridge. So construct a bridge between them. Whenever students do something, you try to see that the wall is not built in between them and you can construct a bridge between them, even with your colleagues or with your superiors or with your subordinates, with your family members. You remember this word and then the love, you start pouring love. And what is love? Care for them and make them happy. Okay, so now we go to the next. Yes, anyone thing you want to ask regarding this love? Anybody have any question? Can I proceed? I think I can proceed. With
Yes,
your
madam,
permission?
you can proceed.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
madam,
you,
you
sir.
can proceed.
Now we'll go to the next human value, respect. How to earn respect? Before knowing how to earn respect, let us know what is respect. Okay. You know, you may go to somebody's house. Somebody's house, your relatives or friend's house. What do you expect? That to give a warm welcome to you. Okay, and they should welcome you with a smile. Then I have to say you offer a seat. Oh, how are you? And all they have to talk to you friendly manner. All these things you expect, you know. Someone comes to your house. What should you do? You should do the same thing. That means treating others how you expect them to treat you is respect. Treating others how you expect them to treat you is respect. If you want them to treat you properly, you treat them properly. Unless you treat them properly, it is mutual. Take and give respect. If you respect them, they will also respect you. So how to earn respect? Respect cannot be demanded. It has to be earned. Respect has to be earned. It cannot be demanded. If you demand, oh, namaskara madi, you do this, you do that, they may pretend, like, you know, while I was studying in school, it's a very reputed school. I love my school. You should love your institutions. You love your school, where you studied. You love your teachers. Okay. So, like, you know, she was very strict. The principal was very, very strict. And attenders they were instructed that the moment, whenever I keep passing on these corridors, you have to go on saluting me, And that day also just we were playing in the ground and they were sweeping and they were cleaning. And this principal came and she was going this side and that side. I think more than 8 to 10 times. And whenever she comes and passes that side and they were cleaning, they have to throw their broomsticks and they had to, oh, namaskara madam, they have to tell. And once she went that side, these two ladies, they started laughing. What is this? I say, every time namaskara ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. Don't you have other work? I say, namaskara ಮಾಡೋದೇನಾ? Where is that respect? You cannot demand respect. You have to earn respect. Albert Einstein says that I speak to everyone in same manner, same way, whether the person is a grab picker or whether he is the president. All human beings should be treated with respect. You talk to anyone, you talk to them with respect. Okay. While knowledge gives you power, character gives you respect. If you want respect from someone, your character, how is your character? How should be our character? Our Subhashita says, Vidya dadati vinayam vinayat yati patratam patratva dhanamapnoti tatasukam, they says. Vidya dadati vinayam. Education is not getting degrees and certificates. Real knowledge, true knowledge. If you're really educated, you have to be humble. You have to be humble. You have to be very polite. You have to be very polite. If you are very polite, Vidya dadati vinayam vinayat yati patratam. I think I will not be wrong if I mention the name of Puneet Rajkumar, who expired recently, whom we lost recently. People did not show respect to him and they showered love. Not that he was just simply an actor, not simply he was a celebrity. There are not, that's all 101 thousands of actors are there and celebrities are there. Why they showered so much of love and why did they show so much of respect even today? Why? Because he was so humble, he was so polite. If you are polite, your students will respect you. You have to be strict. We have to be strict, I know that. But the students will know. So one thing is, I know that we should have a command over a subject. We should have a depth in the knowledge. We should have depth in that knowledge in that particular subject. And then no students can shake us. That is different thing. But other than that, how humble any person, individual in this world will definitely will respect you if you are very humble and polite. If you give something, if you are giving something to someone, okay, someone asks, do you have pen? Yes, take it. No, not that. Whenever you give something to someone, maybe gift or charity or whatever, when you are serving food, give with respect. When you are talking to someone, talk with respect. When somebody is speaking, you listen with respect. Okay. So all these things, whether you're listening, whether you're speaking, whether you're giving, and whether, okay, you forget all those things. When you're doing namaskara, when you're doing with respect, that is it. So I mean, let us not pretend that we have. And even when our attenders, like, yes, they may be okay, but they are also human beings. Let us not insult them. Let us not humiliate them. Let us talk to them also with respect. With respect. You give due respect. What are we going to lose? What are we going to lose if you give due respect to others? If you give respect to others, you will become most respectable person. Okay. There was one diamond merchant. He was selling precious gems in his shop. And one day, one businessman came to his shop to buy, what you can say, you want to buy some gems. Okay. He wanted to give a business of lakhs of rupees and crores of rupees. He asked the owner, the diamond merchant, to show that gems and all. And he said, no, this is displayed in the showcase. You can look here, sir. All these things are displayed. And so he said that I want to test these whether they are original or not. I want to take it in my hand and I want to test it. Okay. And he said, sir, and do you have any other precious gems, other varieties? I can buy this only seeing other varieties. I want to see. Do you have anything? Yes, sir, of course I have, but I not displayed everything. It is there. Can you show me that? Sorry, sir. If you want to see that, and then if you want to buy, you have to come only after 4 o'clock, sir. Why 4 o'clock? What's the problem? No, I'm in a hurry. I want it immediately. Please settle the matter now itself. You do it, please. Then he said, merchant said, sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm extremely sorry. Why? Tell me the reason at least. Why can't you show now? He said, sir, my father is sleeping. Your father may be sleeping. But what's the problem? Let him sleep. No, sir. The key is under the pillow where my father is sleeping. So go and get the key. Get the key. Sorry, sir. Why? I don't want to disturb my father, sir. He's an aged person. He's sleeping. He has to sleep till 4 o'clock. He will wake up at 4 o'clock. No. I have great respect to my father. Sorry, sir. Okay, I'm ready to lose crores of rupees, but I don't want to disturb my father, sir. I respect him. Then he said, you're such a respectable person. You're respecting your father so much means you're most respectable person. Respectable persons cannot cheat. Sorry, I don't want to see any other terms. Come on, you give this away. May look like story, but when you're most respectable person, people will trust you, people will honor you, people will love you. You get everything in this world when you are respectable person. If you are respectable person, what you have to do? Respect. Subhashitakara says, the respectable persons will never come down to lower level. You are getting something, you never come to lower level. Self-respect is more important. Self-respect is more important. Don't stoop down to lower level just because of some, like, someone may, bribe you. Someone may say, no, I'm giving this, I'm giving that. No. For that one, Subhashitakara says, in 1 minute and 10 seconds, I'm going to tell this shloka. क्षुत्क्षामोऽपि जराकृशोऽपि शिथिलप्रायोऽपि कष्टां दिशामापन्नोऽपि विपन्नदीदितरपि प्राणेषु नश्यत्स्व विमत्तेभेन्द्र विभिन्न कुम्भपिशित ग्रासैकबद्धस्पृह किं चीर्णं तृणवत्ति मानवतामग्रेसर केसरी. Let us now try to know the meaning of the whole word by word by word. Kesari means lion. Lion, whether it is aged, whether it is on the verge of death, whether it is losing the luster, lost luster in its claws, whether it's losing its strength in the body, whatever it is, it will never eat a strip of grass. It will never eat, it doesn't want to eat grass because it wants to maintain, it has got the self-respect. If at all it wants to get a food, no, it wants to eat only the flesh in the temple of an elephant, just tearing that. He wants to eat only that, but elephant, I mean the lion, it doesn't want to eat grass. It means that today I'm very, very honest. Oh, I have said I live with self-respect and dignity. But tomorrow you may have some problem. Oh, sorry, you are having some financial problem. Someone says, no, you do this work. I say, you get the seat for this one, or you do this one, and you get this file moved. All these things I've given you so much. And you may think, oh, all this says anyhow, lead with self-respect. No, what is this? Condition is like this. Situation is like this. What can I do? What will happen one day if I do? No, losing self-respect 1 day or 1 minute, it is safe. But never come down to lower level. So this is how the respect, we have to live with self-respect. Okay. And next value, let us go to tolerance. My God, this is really tolerance and patience. Today morning, this technical issues were going on. I was tensed. I was full of this. What is this? I'm making hundreds of people wait for me because time is so precious. We should not make others you have no right to make. But I was so helpless. I was feeling so bad. I was full of tension and stress. Then I was telling myself, no. I should have patience. I should have patience. You have to it is. You have to command your mind that no, you have patience and tolerance. So the highest result of education is tolerance, where our children are lacking this point, this tolerance. Hardly youngsters will have tolerance and patience. So tolerance is a really very good virtue or very good quality. But people think it as weakness. Oh, whatever you don't know, he will tolerate it. I say, oh, that madam, no, that sir is very strict. No, so I have to submit all my this thing. But another faculty member may have the patience. No, in-house students didn't get it. No, today let me wait. Okay, she's having the tolerance to wait for something may not be exact example. I can tell you. But they should, hey, this madam, no, they'll wait. I say, no problem. I say, we can submit. No, the people should not take us for granted. So tolerance is not weakness. Tolerance is our strength. Tolerance should be our thing. One professor he had to participate in some international conference, and he was waiting in the airport. That day, unfortunately, or fortunately, as per him, flight got delayed 5 to 6 hours. They went on announcing that it is delayed, delayed, delayed. And all the other passengers were tensed. You can imagine how it will be in airport. As it is, will be 3 hours early, 3 to 4 hours. And then in spite of it, above all, waiting again for 3 to 4 hours, 6 hours. But this professor sat, he was very cool, sat in one corner. He took some notebook and pad, pen and all from his bag. He went on writing something and all. The co-passenger who was sitting next to him asked, "Sir, are you not tensed?" "Why?" "Sir, flight is delayed so much, don't you know?" "Yes, yes, I know. What can I do? If I get tensed, if I get stressed, will it change? Oh, this person is tensed, so flight, can they prepone it? Delayed, it is delayed." But what he did, he took it personally. He prepared the notes in the airport. He prepared. He made use of the time. Tolerance is very, very, very difficult to develop this tolerance also. We speak that we should be tolerant, but we have to. So if you don't have a tolerance and the patients like, stress and health issues, so many things happens. If you're in bus stand, waiting for a bus and waiting for a railway station, waiting for some results, waiting for this, that, anything, no network issues, no this thing and all, you lose. And one in railway station, 3 professors, you might have heard about this incident. 3 professors will come to see off the another professor, one colleague, their colleague who was transferred to some other college. And train came, there was so much of big crowd was there. And everyone wanted to get inside the train, and till the train moves, they wanted to be with the colleague. And train moved, they could not see the person who has to travel. They were wondering where this fellow went, where this fellow went. That fellow was in the platform only. Because in the tension, what did they do? They were not bothered to see whether that fellow who has to travel, whether he got into the train or not. They all rushed into the train and they got into this. This is what happened. If you don't have patience and tolerance, we'll get stressed. When you're stressed, whatever work you do, it cannot be perfect. Work cannot be perfect if you do anything out of stress. When you are stressed, what happens? You cannot focus. You cannot concentrate. So this is all due to lack of tolerance. In one foreign restaurant, one lady in hotel restaurant, she goes and she will buy soup. Okay, she had ordered for a bun and a soup. She will get the soup. She will get the soup and keep it on the table. Then she realizes, oh my God, I didn't get the bun at all. I didn't get the bun and bread. I brought only soup. Okay, she goes back and she gets that bun and comes and sits in front of table. By the time she reaches the table, one African, he started sipping the soup. He was drinking. This lady got annoyed so much. What is this? Don't you have a manners? This is my soup. How could you drink this? She pulled that bowl. He kept quiet. She started drinking that. He smiled. He went and he brought some sandwich, bread and all. She said, already you have taken my soup. You have drank so much. So that's why, as a punishment, I will eat your bread. I will eat your sandwich. She started sharing with that. He kept quiet. He smiled. After some time, that fellow went off. She was busy eating. Then she wanted to take something from her bag, hanky. She looked back at the chair. The purse was missing. Bag was missing. He started shouting and screaming, oh, thief, thief, because African fellow, he went like, he's a thief. That is why he has done all these things. She went and she complained with the owner of the restaurant and all, manager and all. She started shouting like anything. And slowly she could see her bag was hanging on a chair. The tables where she was, this particular chair and table was away from where she sat. 2 tables away from where she sat. Then she realized her mistake. My God, I kept soup on some table and I went to another table by mistake. What soup I drank was that was purchased, bought by that fellow. It belonged to him. But I took it. I behaved so badly. Why? Why did I behave like this? Because no tolerance, no patience. So all these things will happen to you when you are not tolerant. Your students may do some mistakes. Your family members may do mistake. Try to think, or your children may do some mistake. You try to find out why this has happened, what has happened, who has done it. One student might have done some mistake, but if we are not patient, like, we mistake it for some other student, we punish that student. Then we feel, my God, what did I do? What did I do? That student was so innocent. He didn't do anything, but why did I do? So that way, so to have a tolerance and patience is the biggest value and most valuable virtue, I feel. And then finally, I come to the last value, human value today. I am going to discuss with you. That is the honesty. Honesty is, what is honesty? I started with first one. I'm ending with this one. Telling truth is honesty. Honesty is telling truth. Honesty is telling truth. If you're honest, you'll be clear inside. You'll be clear inside. I asked you one question. If you tell lie, how do you feel it? You feel miserable, no? Why did I tell like this? Why did I tell this to my children? Why did I tell my parents? No, I shouldn't have told like this. I should have told the truth. Nija helbekata. I should have told the truth. Why did I lie? You feel so guilty. You cannot be clear. If you're honest, you'll be clear inside that. And should be honest? How? You should be honest in your thoughts first. You should be honest in your words next. You should be honest in your actions finally. Be honest in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. So we have to be honest throughout. We have to be. So whatever others do, whatever they ask, whatever, that is called honesty. Honesty will always pay. Honesty will ever always pay. Once C.V. Raman, in Institute of C.V. Raman, that in C.V. Raman Institute, they had called for some interviews. Many candidates had come, and even from outside Karnataka also, they had come to attend this interview, it seems. So many people, and they were paying TADA and all. So many candidates attended the interview and they went. And Sir C.V. Raman was about to leave that institute. He was about to leave. And by the time one fellow entered that premises, he went to that the counter and said, I want to talk to that, the office people. Some problem is there, I want to talk to. What is this? It's almost is a closing time, you have come. No, it's very important, I want to. Then, okay, he was allowed when he requested so much, he was allowed, and he had to talk to the office people. And they said, what is the issue? Interview is over. We send a letter. You can't come and ask anything. No, sir, nothing regarding interview. The thing is, I come from Ballari or something, Gulbarga, he says that I come from there. Actually, TADA only, this cost only this much, sir. But by mistake, I am paid more, sir. I am paid more. You should have paid 50 rupees or 30 rupees less. See this honesty. By the time C.V. Raman passed by, what's going on? Who are you? Office clerk, he stood up and said, sir, he was a candidate, attended, and what happened? No, we'll not give the results today. We'll let you know. We'll send a letter. We'll inform you, please. Then the officer, no, sir, he has not come forward. Then what? He said, sir, I was paid TAD, I was paid more, sir. I'm very sorry, sir. So that's why I wanted to return it. C.V. Raman said, okay. What did I say just few seconds back? We will inform through letter. No, I'm telling now itself. I'm telling that you're appointed. You're appointed. Honesty pays. And I'll conclude with one more beautiful story, if with your kind permission. There was one king. He was very virtuous. He ruled the kingdom in such a way that people were so happy, no problems at all. But he was childless. Who will ascend the throne? Who should be his successor? He was worried about it. And something should be done, you know. He called the ministers, he consulted with them, and the ministers said, okay, what can be done? He said that he thought of some plan. And next day, it was announced throughout the kingdom that king is calling all the citizens. So whoever wants to become the ruler, successor, should come to the palace. You can imagine that who will not be interested in getting that position, successor. So many people, they came. One small girl also, she also came to the palace. She entered the palace. Okay. They were all standing. And king came outside. He came to the court. He stood on his throne. And ministers said, sir, can we start now, sir? If you permit. He said, okay, you can carry on. Then what should we do? They said that. Okay, you get that item? He said. The minister, he ordered the servants, some of the servants then. And as per his order, the servants, they carried some pots. And they showed it to the king. Sir, can we give it? Yes. Whoever had come to that court, all the people were made to stand in a queue. They were asked to stand in a row. And these servants started handing over these pots one by one. It was closed. They were wondering. We were asked to come here to become the successor, but they're giving some part. What is this? One of them, they started discussing with others. They were whispering, what is this? What's going on? Then the king started speaking. My dear people, don't get panicked. Don't get confused. We are not insulting you. We're not humiliating you. We have great respect to my citizens. Okay. See, I have given this pot to you, no? There are seeds in this pot. In each pot, there are seeds. 1 year, I'll give time. 1 year time, I will give you. Whoever comes, whoever is successful in, taking care of these seeds, you should come with a plant with beautiful flowers. If you can do it, then we will select that and then we will choose that person as the successor. After all, we have to take care of the seeds. We have to grow plants. Flowers should bloom 1 year. It's not an impossible task at all. So they were all very confident. They were all very happy. They thought that what competition would be given, what contest will be conducted to become to become a successor. They all did. Even one small girl, young girl also had come. She also carried that pot to her house. Every day, everyone was putting proper required water, menu, everything they were taking care of. Everyone was doing it. But to their shock and surprise, they couldn't even see sprouts. It remained same. Seeds remained same. Days were flying. 1 year completed. They had to go on that particular day. Deadline was over. They had to go. Everyone, they were going in front of the house of this girl. They were all carrying pots with beautiful plants and flowers. This girl was shocked and surprised. What is this? Why these seeds are not growing at all? I'm taking care of this plant so much. Why? I couldn't even see sprouts in this. What is this? I'm so unlucky. What to do? She asked her father, Father, what can I do? Nothing. You go and tell the king, that's all. She carried that pot. She also entered the palace. Everyone was looking so happy with a broad smile. They were all standing before the king. King came, entered the court, and he also started observing all these people. Everyone was looking happy, but this young girl was looking very nervous, very nervous. She was looking very depressed. He asked, "Oh, I think, have you all grown plants?" "Yes, my lord. You see, look at my pot, look at my pot, look at my pot. How beautiful flowers are grown, how beautiful plant is it. Look at this color, look at this." King started nodding his head. "Fine, fine, very good, very good." He called this young girl. "My dear girl, come on, show your plant. You have covered this part. Where is a plant? Where is a flower? You have not brought it. Don't you remember what I said?" "Yes, my lord." But she started crying. No, stop crying, stop crying. What happened to you? Tell me that. What happened? "How much have I tried? Sincerely I tried. I took lot of care, utmost care. Every day I was watering, every day I was putting manure, everything. But I don't know, my lord, it never grew. So I have brought how it was given to you. I'm very sorry. Please excuse me, my lord." She would beg pardon and she falls on the feet of the king. King would lift her. Okay. Lift her, and he will get up from the throne and will make that girl sit on the throne. Others were shocked, annoyed. What is this going on? What injustice? What was announced here? Whoever grows the plant, but we have brought the plants. We have brought the plants, but we are not. And the king smiled and said, "You know, you people might have not imagined what was done by us to test you. What seeds were given? They were roasted seeds. Roasted seeds. So how can you expect a plant from that? How can you expect sprouts from that? I knew very well, no change will take place." This girl brought as it is. She told the truth. Why she told the truth? Because honesty is telling the truth. She told the truth. But others, just wanted post, position and all. They brought some plants, some flowers. They were not successful in planting this, bringing the plants with flowers. So they told a lie. They told a lie. So honesty is speaking truth. And this girl, she was honest in speaking truth. So because of which the king said, yes, she is very, very honest. And then now to conclude, can you think, I'll be very happy if any one of you say, can you think of a time when you are appreciated for your honesty, or you appreciated somebody for their honesty? I'll give just 2-3 minutes time, then we can conclude the session. Can anybody can share their experience? Yes.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your wonderful interaction. So participants, please request you to interact for the question that the madam.
Sure. Welcome, most welcome. Any questions?
May I?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you were asking about the honesty, any incident, happened with me. So once I was in, petrol station and I was using my PhonePe account to pay the amount. Right. So in the transaction, somehow transaction got failed and I haven't noticed and I moved away from that place. So later on, when I was purchasing something, then I realized that the previous transaction got failed. So very quickly, I've taken the decision and I moved back to the petrol station again, and I called the person who was filling the fuel that time. So he was puzzled that time and in the office. So I called him back and I said that transaction got failed. Well, oh, ma'am, actually, I was looking for that particular transaction because that was missing. Thank you so much. And after some day, I was paying some extra bucks to someone, and that person returned me that amount. So I felt that if you will do the good, so the good will come to you.
Yes, madam. Yes, exactly what you said.
That was the experience.
Really, yes. Well, what was your feeling afterwards? How were you feeling?
Yeah, the feeling of satisfaction was there.
Yes,
the feeling
yes,
of
that's what I
happiness was
wanted.
there.
Yes, madam. That's what I wanted. Exactly. Feeling of satisfaction, that will be there. Feeling of satisfaction will be there if you're honest. If you're honest. When I was working in high school, when I was valuing the paper, I used to tell the students, see, honesty is speaking the truth. I said no. So when I used to value the papers, hundreds of students who used to be in high school, particularly there, and sometimes, error is human in totaling and all. If at all I had done mistakes, I used to tell. Okay, so if some students tell that, ma'am, you have given me 1 mark extra, 2 mark extra in totaling mistake, I used to give 1 mark to him, him or her. I used to give 1 mark. Ma'am, why, you have given this 1 mark? Because this is, see, 67, if you have scored, 67 is for your performance. This 1 mark is for your honesty. Honesty. I wouldn't have known that I have given more, isn't it? Yes. So that way, 1 mark. So if I know, they started telling, yes, we have to speak truth. This is how indirectly we have to tell. So telling lie or being honest, respecting everything, we cannot only by, if you instruct, we cannot do it. Only it is by actions, only by our actions. Anybody want to share anything? Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you with your experience. I'm very happy with that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. Yes.
Okay. If there are no more questions, we will end the session here.
Yes.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful lecture and also your experiences with the students and others. So I think participants have immensely benefited by your lecture. I hope to connect with you in some other occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have some feedback if the time permits? 1 or 2. Can I get a feedback?
3 or 4 minutes is left. If participants
4 minutes left.
3 or 4 minutes.
Give me feedback, please.
Anybody, if you want to share the feedback, participants, please share the feedback.
Yeah, ma'am, indeed, it was a wonderful session. And you know what I like the most, that the real examples you were giving and to the story, and you were trying to narrate the concept thoroughly through the, putting the examples. So that was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot. I will conclude with one minute this thing. Children, because they learn by observation. So be careful, please. Children always learn by observation. One day when the father was at home and it was Sunday, he got a call from his office. He didn't want to get disturbed on that day. He was in a relaxing mode. And he told his son, the small child, when he picked the phone, he said that if you receive the call, you tell that my father is running fever, he's not well, he's sleeping. Then the child asked, why father? Why should I not tell this? If you tell because you're not feeling, you're quite all right, no? You're not sick or you're not running temperature. Why should I? Hey, nothing happens. Father, you said that we should not tell lie. It's a small matter. Sometimes once in a while we can tell lie, the father said. Okay. And the next day when mother was cleaning the bag, and after a few days, they asked, father asked, see, your test got over almost 10 to 15 days back. Usually in your school, they give the papers within a week. But what happened today? You are not shown the paper at all after a week also. You didn't get the paper? The child said, no, father, I didn't get the papers at all. Why didn't you get it? No, my teacher has not come to school. Why your teacher has not come? No, because teacher was feeling running temperature. Teacher is not well. But next day, when mother was cleaning the bag, she could find all the papers. She told it to her husband. Father started firing the son. Said, what is this? Papers are given, but you're telling lie. You're telling lie that your teacher is not well and all. Why did you do all these things? The child said. Father said, once in a while, if you tell it is nothing wrong. Father was a model. Father was a model. No? So kids observe and follow. Students also, they follow us. How disciplined we are, how truthful we are. All these things they follow. So if we want Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. So if we want our children to be good, we have to be good. If we want children and students to follow human values, we have to adopt those values. So thank you, one and all. I thank, finally, I thank Dr. Rashmi Hunnur, Professor, Head of the Department Management, and I also thank sincerely the management and principal of Basaveshwara Engineering College. And finally, it will be wrong on my part if I don't thank Mr. Mohan Kumar, who suggested my name to participate as a resource person in this FDP program. And I thank each and every faculty member for your patience listening. And I hope that you never got bored. I think I was not drilling so much. I hope that you enjoyed the session. Once again, I thank sincerely each and every one of you for giving this opportunity and your patience listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your wonderful sharing. All the participants are requested to join back at 2:30 for the final session and also the quiz. So we'll reassemble or we'll rejoin at 2:30 p.m. exactly at 2:30 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.